Hearing the Stig, or the former Stig, tell me he wants to be a YouTuber is like Michael Jordan wanting to come around my house and play bloody table tennis. Some say the man I met in an underground car park in Wembley, when you measure his heart rate, it's in beats per minute. But this lovely gentleman I met in an underground car park was formerly known as the Stig on the amazing show Top Gear. And I was walking through a show which I was going to be presenting with the lovely Chiro from Petrohedonism, and I bumped into this guy. And I was like, hi, nice to meet you. He goes, oh, hi, I'm Ben. You know when you put two and two together, but you can't work out what four is? And I was like, I know him. He goes, oh, I'm actually Ben Collins. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. You know, brilliant. I'm Sam Hard. I went, oh, the Ben Collins? And he goes, yeah. So Top Gear, stunt driver, most famous driver in the world. And he was like, yeah. I was like, what do you mean most famous driver in the world? I said, well, you've got to be probably the most TV-aired driver in the world, right? He goes, do you know what? Thinking about it, you're probably right. You know, if you think about a singular driver that all of us have noticed and recognised our whole lives as a very, very professional driver, it is former Stig, Mr. Ben Collins. And we had a bit of a chat, we got to know each other, and I was lucky enough to introduce him to Matt Armstrong and Freddie Tavares. So bumping into the former Stig in an underground car park at a car show in London was quite strange, but things got a little bit more strange. Ben started to tell me that he wanted to be a YouTuber. I've spent my life around legends like Richard Rawlins, right? Which are on TV. That is the dream for me. I wanted to be on TV, right? And I've taken YouTube as a backstep. You know, it's second best, but I'm in control. It will work. Hearing the Stig, or the former Stig, tell me he wants to be a YouTuber is like Michael Jordan wanting to come around my house and play bloody table tennis. It is that odd and deformed and a bit weird. He's not in his lane here. Like, you know, it feels a bit strange. But do you know what? He's asked for my help. And if there's anything I'm going to do, it's help the man that has basically sculpted my childhood. Every week, me and my dad would sit on that sofa. And do you know what? The cars weren't that great. I wasn't really bothered about the Bugattis and the Lambos and the Ferraris. It was about that man throwing that reasonably priced piece of shit around that track and basically getting better or worse every day and putting Harry Potter around it, Michael Schumacher around it, Rowan Atkinson around it. Like, these things for me were everything, all right? For that hero to be asking for my advice, it felt like finally my stars have aligned. Maybe I could be the next Ed Bolian. Maybe I am the person that's going to put this man on his tracks. Maybe I am the Stig of the YouTube world. Maybe I could be one day the best in my field. I'm going to help you out, Mr. Stig. From that point on, he found out about my field of dreams, okay? I call it a field of dreams, but most people that actually have a liking or a love for cars would call it a field of nightmares. And I had my fake Lamborghini Murcielago, I had Tavares' fake Murcielago, I had my Diablo, I had my F40. I had over 40 cars laid out in the field for Ben Collins to see that day, including a Reliant Robin, which I was going to sell from my forecourt. The best way to describe this car without a photo is like a awful, ugly, disgusting block of chocolate or bread, or a loaf of bread, with one wheel at the front, two wheels at the back, and every time you go around the corner at over 30 miles an hour, you basically put your life in your hands and roll it down the road. And Ben Collins wasn't really bothered about any of my eclectic mix of crap in my field, apart from the Reliant Robin. And later on in the day, we had noticed an amazing video by the legend who is Cody from Whistling Diesel. And whatever he seems to do, which seems to be mainly controversial, seems to get a lot of views. And Ben's words to me were, I know we're on the amazing Chris Wrigley farm, and there is a swimming pool there that is very green. Would you mind if I drove that Reliant into the swimming pool? And it was like a sentence which you'd never imagined in your life would come from the former Stig's mouth, that would not only cripple me and make me very upset with my life choices of buying it, but also make me very happy to be the only man wearing his pants driving a Reliant into a swimming pool which you can't see a foot in front of. I mean, it felt like the stars have aligned, right? So I basically said, because I was basically in the presence of his grace, the former Stig, and I didn't really know how to say no. So I said yes. I thought, do you know what, let's throw this £3,000 perfectly good, recently inspected, brand new tyres, fully serviced Reliant, into a green swimming pool which you can't see your hand in when you're waving at yourself from a foot underneath, and basically throw it in the bin with the hopes of great views. And Ben was basically elated. He was so happy. And we come up with this idea which he'll be in the middle of the field and he'll basically be emptying my car, like ripping the door cards out and throwing the seats and cushions out the window. And I'll come over to him and he'll be like, Sam, do you reckon we could take your Reliant for a drive around the field? And he went, yeah, all right, no worries. And I went over to him ripping my car apart. I'm like, Ben, what the hell are you doing? He goes, well, mate, these cars are a little bit hairy and a little bit crazy, so we need to make it as light as possible. And at this point, he's taking his shirt off, he's getting into his pants, and basically, he said, Sam, you're going to have to get down to your pants as well, mate, because we need to make the car lighter. We're going to go around the field of dreams, let's go. So we jump in, and I'm in my pants, Ben's in a skimpy little t-shirt and his boxer shorts, and here we go. Not one lap, not two lap, but the third lap, at about 40 mile an hour, we go over the edge of the pool and hit this swimming pool. The waves are flying everywhere, the freaking inflatables are flying. But first of all, we hit it. I'm like, oh. First of all, it was quite scary. My heart was pounding out my chest, right? I was like, oh, we're just floating like a boat. This is quite good. It's like a little boat. You're right there. Ben's trying to explain to me, most people in these situations would try and wait till the car is depressed into the water, then even out the water pressure and open the door. By the time he's trying to explain it to me, I am already out the frickin' window, because not only is it like -5 degrees freezing cold water, but I'm actually scared for my life. Like, this water is bright green on the windscreen and it is coming up quick. And at first I thought, do you know what, we've got a couple of minutes of chatting here, we can have a right laugh. And then the water started coming in over the door frame, and it is the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. When it started going down, I was halfway out the door, and imagine like you're not ready to catch your breath. I grabbed hold of like the roof of the car to pull myself out, and I went to pull myself up, but instead I breathed in, all I can describe is pond water into my lungs, right? And then my legs and my thighs were caught in the car, which pulled me under the water. I could feel Ben moving around and kicking under my legs. And I get out, which felt like 2 minutes trying to get out of the car, but it was about 10 seconds. I got out, and I'm like, while also screaming because it is absolutely freezing. And then I look round to realise that the Stig is nowhere to be seen. Sorry, the former Stig, for all you BBC people out there that are basically slapping my wrists right now. The former Stig is nowhere to be seen. And I'm talking about 20 seconds later, up he pops. He goes, I thought you'd enjoy the suspense. So we're all absolutely shitting ourselves thinking we've killed the Stig in a Reliant. Imagine that. The former Stig, one of the most famous racing drivers in the world that has driven Bugattis and Ferraris and Lamborghini, dies in a £900 Reliant. That would be the most ridiculous, but like all these other people, like Steve Irwin, really good at jumping on crocodiles. I mean, that man was really good at his skill. Then he went jumping into the water and got killed by a stingray. Kobe Bryant, helicopter. Michael Schumacher, frickin' skiing. Ken Block, ski-mobile. I mean, guys, keep to what you're good at. Maybe Ben Collins should not drive Reliance ever again. Maybe he's only good on 4 wheels. Some say he's only good on 4 wheels.
Successful car purchasing is all about knowing your buying power and being able to move quickly. And the best way to do that is getting pre-qualified with Premier Financial Services. Call one of these numbers, speak to one of their representatives, fill out their application, and then you'll know exactly how much car you can buy. You'll approach a seller, tell them you're already qualified, you've got your simple lease set up from Premier Financial, and you'll be able to close very, very quickly. That's why Premier is one of the most powerful partners in the world of exotic car financing, and that's why I turn to them every time I go out and try to buy something crazy.